been out for a while. We've been getting a whole bunch of characters, but we haven't given y'all a tier list. And I know some of y'all might be wondering what characters are the best characters to play with, or how can you maybe get better at JJK Cursed Clash. I'm not saying that I'm the best player, but we can kind of give you a good idea of what characters maybe you can run to if you're maybe having some trouble in this game. Of course, a lot of this stuff does depend on your teammate and also the synergy that your character has with other characters in this game, which is what makes this game so unique, that it doesn't just rely on the skill of one person, it relies on the skill of two people. And I really enjoy that about this game, and I realize that that part of the aspect and that part of the game is not for everyone. But today we're going to be giving y'all a tier list post-patch version 1 2.0, and we'll probably be giving y'all another tier list after the Shibuya Instant DLC, or you can let me know if y'all prefer to see these updates after each patch. Let me know. If y'all want to see this, I'll give it to y'all, man. But today's anime question is going to be, after this past patch, which character needs a buff the most right now? After we've, seen all the things come together now. But I hope y'all enjoy this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things. Let's go ahead and hop straight into this tier list. Okay, so we come over here and we look at the tier list, man. We got a little bit, we got some different, let me see, I might be able to zoom this in here, man. So we got some different tiers, man. We got some different tiers. So, first one, S, well, we'll start from the bottom. Oh, no, we'll start from the top. So S is team changing, meaning, and we're grading these things off of course, like how they pair with other characters, but also how easy is it to pick this character up and catch a dub? How easy is it for you to pick up this character and actually cause some issues in a match? And is this character going to be annoying, and is it going to be knocking off health bars? How easy is it? That's mainly the thing. We're thinking about the level of a beginner or maybe a novice that's not that good at the game. Are they going to be able to be good with this character and actually hurt you and your team? So S is going to be team changing, meaning this character is extremely easy to pick up and just start doing things, which means they're S tier. A is let me sit up, meaning if you're playing and you see this character, in your head you're thinking, oh, okay, we might have to sit up and take this one a little bit seriously. B means that they might complicate things, meaning if you see this character, depending on the skill level of the person, this might, not be the easiest match, but it's not nothing you're worried about. C is just an easy dub. You see this character, and it doesn't really matter what you think the skill level is of the other person, you're not really too worried about them. And D is who, basically meaning like, the character's basically not there. So, when we start this off, man, first we got the boy Yuji Itadori. And he is pretty easy to pick up, and I do think, especially his Black Flash, this thing combos with pretty much most of everybody's curse techniques. I really like the way he works with Megami, especially when you use the toe to throw him up in the air, or even when you're just holding somebody still, especially when Black Flash gets to level 3, and maybe you have a Gojo holding somebody in place, and then Itadori can come with the Black Flash. There's just so many things you can do with him, and he just pairs so well with characters. I don't think he's team changing, but I do think he is a let me sit up. If you see Itadori, you gotta focus because he can bounce between characters very well too. Megami Fushiguro, man. Megami. So here's the thing, man. Megami, he can zone and things like that, and he can become an issue when he gets to level 3, but getting to level 3 is where, the issue is. Truthfully speaking, I think whenever we see a Megami, I'm not gonna... Let me know in the comments when you start to disagree with me. I might have to put Megami in an easy dub, okay? I might have to put him in an easy dub also because of the fact that his joint attack is a little bit cheesy. That does activate well. But one thing I will say about Megami, I do think his ultimate is a little bit hard to hit. But you can let me know in the comments how you feel about that. I feel like it's a little bit hard to set up his ultimate, without like a wall bounce or something like that. Of course, you can use the frogs, but I think if I see a Megami, I'm thinking easy dub. As far as Nobara, okay, so we know that Nobara is extremely cheese, even after the nerf to her down circle, where she just gets an ultimate confirmed. This character can break up combos very easily, can easily hop between matches, and like I said, also having an ult confirmed automatically just makes you an issue. So I do think having a Nobara, it's hard to say if it's let me sit up or team changing. I guess we're gonna have to say she's one of our first S tiers. I do think Nobara is still an S tier if you're playing, if the right character is using her. I do think Nobara is something that you have to worry about. Maki, it pains me because Maki is one of my favorite characters from Jujutsu Kaisen, my favorite girl character. But, Maki with her instant counter, that does work, her being able to dodge and stuff like that. But also, Maki can easily get zoned. And I do think a lot of the times when I do see a Maki, I'm not really too worried about it. Now, if the skill level is high with a Maki, yes, a Maki can do something because she does have an extremely high damage output. And me personally, I'd even go as far to say I do think Maki is a little bit more of a better option than Megami, just because also if you turn off your joint assist with Maki, you can easily get joints just by doing her circle where she just throws the knife. So actually, I'll say she can maybe complicate things because, you know, she can actually get that auto dodge. Toge, y'all know how much I freaking hate Toge, but a good Toge player can actually do some interesting things, especially with the fact that he has that automatic counter, which, you know, whenever you hit him, it's very good, especially if you have a slow character or a character that's very predictable. Playing a good Toge player can very much counter you. Now, a new player picking up this guy, I don't think a new player really do too well with Toge. He takes a little bit to learn, but his cursed speech does deal a lot of damage. But I also don't like, you know, like I said, we saw with Naruto Shikamo, we saw how they did his stuff where it takes away his health. I feel like the way they implemented his is a little bit better than Toge's because Toge still takes off a decent amount of health, but it is a little bit accurate to the anime with, you know, Toge's cursed speech does, you know, have a very big drawback effect. So it does, you know, it does cause some things to get complicated. I'm not going to say an easy dub, but I do think Toge would complicate things. He does complicate things. A little bit more than Megami, in my opinion. Panda has gotten a decent amount of buffs. They've like made his gorilla mode a lot faster. They've also just made some of his moves faster, and also just getting super armor. He has a lot of armored moves. The only problem with Panda is he can get zoned very easily because, like I said, he does like there's a lot of moves that actually break through Panda's armor. Like Mahito's drill can break through it, and I even was having Kamo. Kamo was even like piecing me up when I was Panda. His combos were actually getting me out of my armor, but they have done some good things with him. I don't think he's a let me sit up. I think he also goes into the category of, I think he's actually, I would say he's better than Maki and better than Toge. Yeah, better than Maki and better than Toge. So I'd actually put Panda right here now after these buffs. He will complicate some things just because of that armor, and he does have an ult confirmed. Nanami, Kento Nanami, man. They did make a buff to him, making, you know, his overtime, you know, work a little bit better, but they also did a little bit of a nerf to his combo technique where you only get the damage from the last hit, and it's not like proportionate, like where it's like bulk damage. You only get that damage from that last hit. And I think with Nanami, like I said, he has some, you know, some solid moves, but most of his moves don't allow for follow-up besides, like, I think the one move where he punches the ground and it knocks you back. He also has a nice kick that can get a wall bounce, but the other ones kind of just put you into, there's no way to follow up. And the ratio, they did make that easier to land, but all around, man, Nanami, I'm not going to say it yet because we don't know, but he might be one of the worst right now. Like, like, I see a Nanami, yeah, I am kind of thinking easy dub, unless he's paired with an Itadori, then things get a little bit issue, but I don't want to say who, but yeah, Nanami is, yeah, he's there. Gojo, they have made a lot of adjustments to Gojo, making his blue, like, you know, not as powerful, not as, you know, being able to stop you from getting up as much. But I do think I did run into a pair that was running Gojo, like old Gojo with young Gojo, and he was still extremely cheesy. He beat the hell out of me when I was playing with Panda. They were holding me in blues and then joining me. Gojo is still annoying. He is still a character that's pretty easy to pick up. You can pop the red, you can pop the blue. His domain expansion is still extremely powerful. Like, Gojo is still Gojo. I still think he is a team-changing character. I still think he is a team-changing with the right person. Yeah, he's team-changing, man. His domain expansion literally takes off 2 lives. If you got somebody that can protect him, if you're using, like, Geto or something like that, it's a wrap. Yeah, that's a wrap. Toto, man, this hurts me, bro. This is actually my favorite character in JJK, and me saying it hurts me, you know what I'm gonna do, man. Because Toto, it is so hard to deal damage with him. While he is very good at breaking up combos and getting in the way of things, it's hard to get damage with him unless you're getting a wall bounce or unless you're just playing somebody that doesn't know how to dodge. His combo technique does deal some damage, but just setting things up are just not that well with him. It's not easy with him. Most of the time you're depending on a wall bounce or catching somebody off guard, or maybe if you got the swap down, but there's just such a high skill gap with this character. I think it's a little bit, I'll say that he actually complicates things. Yes, I will put him above Megami and Kento just because of the fact that he can swap and get out of combos. He can extend matches. He can make matches last longer than what they need to last, and him throwing his rock actually does catch people off guard. Mahito, this is my main. This is my main character, man. Mahito, with the new balances and new changes, making his drill be able to break your guard, and also his auto transfiguration activating quicker, I really do like the things they did with Mahito, and his domain expansion is a lot more powerful with you pretty much being able to take like over half somebody's health with the drill when you're in that domain. Like, they really, like, like, I feel like a lot of people sleep on Mahito and they don't really know too much about him. Like, they just like don't even pay attention to him. But Mahito is very powerful, and I feel like he's a little bit, you know, I feel like if the person picks him up, he's a little bit easy to play with because you can do body repel. You can also send out your little minions. I do think Mahito is a let me sit up. I think he's moved to a let me sit up, and I don't know if I want to go as far to say that he's better than Itadori. This is a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult because Itadori for the most part is just, you know, bounce and hit, bounce and hit. And, you know, but he's easy to pick up. I am going to say Mahito. After the past bounces, I think a Mahito can hang with an Itadori and can do some damage to an Itadori. Let me know how you feel about that. Jogo was pretty crazy in the beginning. A lot of people were running him, the zoning and stuff like that. I don't think he's like as used now, but Jogo, you know, can still do his things with his zoning. He's extremely hard to catch, but with characters like Toji now and a lot of more ranged characters like Momo, these people that are like better at catching you, I think Jogo's popularity has went down a little bit, but he can still do some things, especially with his Meteor breaking your guard whenever it's at level 3 and being unguardable. I think his domain expansion could still be a little bit more powerful, and especially like even getting that domain popped off, especially because I don't think he has the same armor that Mahito has. I didn't say that. Mahito also has like such a strong super armor. The only way you can get him out of his domain expansion animation is by joint attacking him. Jogo, all you gotta do is hit him and he goes out of his. I think Jogo complicates things. And I'm not gonna... I go as far to say I would say that Jogo is still better than Panda. I will still say Jogo is better than Panda. If you're playing with the right person, a person that knows how to zone and move around, I think you can get a lot more done with a Jogo over a Panda still. Hanami, they've made some balances with Hanami, like, so, you know, making the wood ball cancel out with more things. We talked about this in the balance thingy also with his cursed buds as well. Hanami, like I said, is still a character that is just, he's just not that good to me still. In extent, they have made him a lot better, and especially Hanami can activate his joints just using his cursed buds if you have the joint assist turned off, which is pretty good. His wall is actually pretty overpowered. Whenever you'd run up to him, if he'd hit you with the tree root wall, it'd be pretty good. I still think his one little root that comes out of the ground needs to have much better range, and all of his attacks are grounded. He can get a little cheesy when he charges up his meter. I'm not gonna say an easy dub. It kind of be disrespectful to kind of put. I'm gonna have to put Hanami right here. I do think when I see a Hanami, I think easy dub. I do think easy dub. Sometimes I do get surprised by Hanami. Some of y'all Hanami fans might get upset about that, but when I see a Hanami, I do think easy dub. SO and Ketsuzu, the main thing with this character, I mean, of course they have the blood and stuff like that, but the main thing with SO and Ketsuzu is Ketsuzu constantly breaking your combos. Unless you have somebody like Sukuna or somebody that has like wide area like attacks that can kill off Ketsuzu pretty quickly, you're going to be constantly dealing with SO's combo, like your combos on SO getting broken up. Like somebody like Panda or somebody that only has like straight up just fighting techniques that doesn't have much area things to hit him, because even Maki can do well because Maki can catch Ketsuzu, but like a Panda or even like a Toto, it just doesn't go well because Ketsuzu always breaks the combos. So I do think, me personally, when I see an SO, just because of how hard he is to kill, I do think let me sit up. I do think let me sit up whenever I see, and I do think an SO can even give an Itadori some trouble. I'm putting SO up here, and I know some of y'all might be like, you're crazy for thinking that. He is a little bit difficult to use. I won't say he's extremely difficult to use, because for the most part, you could just press R1, you know, to have Ketsuzu break up the combo for you, and you don't got to really worry about getting damaged like that. I mean, I feel like most people can learn that. Press R1, he breaks your combo. But I guess we could put Itadori a little bit ahead, just because you got to do all the blood stuff and all that stuff. I do think SO goes above these characters, though. Sukuna, like I said, got some balances. They basically made him more vulnerable whenever he's standing in one spot. Of course, he still has his slashes, and he still has his Fuga, which is still overpowered. I still think, you know, you can do a lot more with Sukuna. He's not as much of a threat, but he is still a threat. I still think Sukuna is still a threat. I still think a noob can pick him up and still catch a decent amount of dubs just from using Sukuna once you start learning his moves and stuff like that. I will go as far to say I think Nobara and Gojo can still handle Sukuna better now, but Sukuna is still up here. Yuta, man, they finally buffed my boy Yuta, and this is gonna probably be one that might lose a lot of y'all. Yuta can combo his things a lot better now, and Rika is around longer. And truthfully speaking, when I talk about things, I didn't say that Sukuna also has a one-hit domain expansion. And it's the same thing with Yuta. He has a one-hit domain expansion, and if you play Yuta right, you could literally knock off 3 health bars just from the time Rika's out. Some people could probably get all 4 of your health bars. A really good Yuta, and even then, all you gotta do is spam R1 whenever Rika comes out. I'm gonna go as far to say I do think Rika's a little bit more powerful. I'm gonna put him here, and y'all might not agree with this, but I think when you're playing, like, Yuta is team changing. When you see him, when Rika comes out, if you're not running or being able to block, it gets real. Because even if you're blocking, Rika and Yuta are going to break your guard, and that damage is crazy. And when he hits you with the ult, that is the one thing. The ult is a little hard to hit, but that ult is a one-hit kill. And I'm not lying when I say Yuta can literally change like a 2-4 match to a 2-1 match. He can kill off 3 lives quickly, easily, and maybe still finish you off. But I will say that Gojo has a little bit more of a confirm with his, so I'll put him right here. But I do think, yeah, Yuta is that guy. He's there now. He's there now, especially with the combos. Suguru Geto, man. I think Geto is a lot better with some more combo ability and things like that. But I do think his combos are a little bit long and can be easily interrupted. I didn't say that. It's the same thing with Megami. His combos are extremely long and can be interrupted. And that's one thing that I think holds Geto back. Of course, you know, his light pillar is very powerful and it does activate very fast. His bugs can catch you off guard, and he has a really nice joint attack that can pair well with a lot of people, and they actually even made it activate faster. I do think Geto is actually, I think at this point we can, I think maybe complicate things. I don't know if Geto is better than Jogo. I don't necessarily know, just because, like I said, the length of his combos are still lengthy. He builds meter pretty quickly, but his combos still take some time. They still take some time to get things going. We got Mai, which is just a clear zoner. I don't really like the bullet aspect of it, but some good Mai players do know how to run around and dodge and, you know, shoot you when you're off guard and get that extra damage. But all around, I don't think Mai is that great. But I do think when I see a Mai, I do think, I see her complicate things. I know you're going to think that's crazy. Like, you're putting Mai over Megami, Hanami, and Kendo. I do think that, Mai is like, you know, and I gotta stop calling him Kento. Just say Nanami. Nanami. I don't know, this is the first name being there is just making me say it, but it's Nanami. But whenever I see Mai, I do think that things might get a little bit complicated with her running around and shooting you off guard. Mai players can be extremely annoying, especially being able to dodge, so I'll put her right. Honestly, I'm not going to say she's more of a liable option than Todo. She might be a little bit more of a liable option than Todo. I'll put Todo right there. I do think Mai is a more of a liable option than Todo, even though you got to get that. And I can even say not Toge. I will say Toge's up there. When we go to Momo, Momo has great movement and things like that, and she can catch you off guard with that wind siphon. It's very hard to catch her when you're open space, but she is very much map dependent. If you get her like on the street, she is going to get cooked because she cannot move around.
Oh shit.
And I also feel like what happens a lot is people tend to just not even focus on you since you're flying around, and they'll go jump your teammate. And her combos leave her very open because they're very slow, and they leave a lot of area for you to actually get countered and get attacked. If you get parried, or even if just somebody just blocks you, you don't have enough time to recover to actually follow up. I don't know if I think an easy dub. Whenever I do see a Momo, I do think that things might be a little bit complicated. I don't know if she's better than Todo because Todo can actually, you know, pressure a Momo, but I'd put her right here. But I do think Mai, unfortunately at this point, might be a little bit better than Momo when it comes to actual pairability with teams. I think if you get the right person with Momo, she can maybe be better than Mai, but I do think she goes right here, and she's above Megami, Hanami, and Nanami. Look at Student Gojo, man. Student Gojo is absolutely crazy. Honestly, his blue is not really, like, you know, that much, but when it comes to picking it up and just playing with this character, once you hit the level 3, that R1 is automatic. It's automatic. It does suck that he has to die to get his joint attack, but truthfully speaking, if you get to level 3, you don't really need the joint. Especially, I mean, if you're not playing somebody that's really going to know how to dodge or get away from that technique, you can really hurt somebody. That technique is crazy. And especially the combo I told you of Gojo and Gojo, with one Gojo holding you in place and the other one just coming with the combo. It is honestly just insane. And I honestly do think this character is, yeah, he's an S. And I do think he can go above Nobara right now. I think he can go above Nobara. This is what the top is looking like. It's looking like Gojo, Nobara, other Gojo, Yuta, and Sukuna. But that's because we still have some characters to touch on. So we got Geto. We got Student Geto. Student Geto's, you know, his simple domain is still powerful. He can fight inside, outside. He can also use the squids. This character is very versatile still, and his combos are very good. I do think Geto's combos are a little bit long that can get interrupted still. I do think his combos are long, which, you know, is always a little bit of a downfall when it comes to things, because one thing with Gojo, his combo's a little bit long, but he teleports and it keeps you off him. And this Gojo, his combo is actually even shorter than this Gojo. I do think Geto's is a little bit long, but he has multiple ways to deal damage, and especially with that simple domain, it does set things up. Now, getting his ult can be a little bit hard because he doesn't have an actual ult confirmed, but like I said, he has a lot of things that can get him set up, and he's very good for supporting teammates. And I feel like when you see him, I do think that you do think, let me sit up. And I actually will say he's team changing because Gojo, Student Geto, when he puts up that simple domain, it does cause you to have to move around it. Of course, you can do ranged projectiles and things like that, but you do have to move around this move. We look at Toji, man. Toji, of course, man. Toji, here's the thing. Toji is not easy to play with. He is not an easy character, but when you play a good Toji, you're going to feel it. They're going to be moving around. They're going to be connecting their triangles into their circle and then hitting you with a combo, slashing you. It is extremely annoying and it is extremely powerful. And I do think that Toji, because of these things, because of the speed, and because of the actual distance that his actual ultimate goes whenever he's hitting you with his secret technique, I don't think he's better than Gojo, but I do think he might be able to go here. Because of easeability, I think Gojo is easier to play than Toji, and I'd even go as far to still say that Nobara would go here, just because she also has an ult confirmed over Toji, just because of the fact that the more easeability to play with Nobara over Toji. I do think Toji can go here though. This might be where a lot of y'all disagree with me, but let me know how y'all are actually feeling about this this S tier up here. And the last one is the newest character we got, which is going to be Kamo. I think Kamo has a lot of things that he does well. I do think his auto combo can leave him a little bit vulnerable if you just want to start a combo with the auto. That's why I typically recommend, I think it's the down circle where you shoot the arrows and it goes out like in a way kind of like similar to Nobara's move. I think this is a great best way to start your auto combo because you have a low chance of missing, because when you miss those arrows, it does leave you open. But this character does a lot of high damage. He does high damage, very high at low levels for what I thought he was going to do. His ultimate technique, the animation is a little weird, but the range of it is very nice. This character has some of the best range. I would honestly argue that his range, I think, is better than Nobara's. And I do think that whenever you are playing a Kamo, I do think maybe you gotta sit up a little bit. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to say if he's better than Jogo. That's the one thing that has me wondering about it. I think maybe you can put Kamo. Maybe I think a Jogo. No, Kamo actually is. Yeah, Kamo actually is. I think because he has a little bit more options. Of course, Jogo could extremely zone you, but I think Kamo can really deal some damage to you, man. So this is the final tier list for me. This is the final ranking. Nobody went into the nobody went into the who category. But right now, for me, it's looking like I think Student Gojo is the best character. I think he is the best in this game. And this is like finishing out the S tier list. And I think the worst characters in the game right now are Megami, Hanami, and Nanami. Maybe Nanami being the worst right now, I do think. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Do you disagree with me believing that Nanami might be the worst character in the game right now? And I know, man, I know Nanami fans, man. I know Nanami fans. I'm sorry to do it to y'all, man. But this is the final ranking, man. Let me know how I actually enjoyed this ranking. Let me know who you main and where your main is actually on this category, like on these lists and these tiers, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things. Let me know where you disagree with me, and I'm gonna see you on the next video, man. Yep.